Today I'm going to talk to you about a new ICO that wants to totally revolutionize the world of cloud storage. This is something that we use on the David Pakman Show a lot for the work that we do. And the company Cryptyk has identified some major weaknesses in current conventional cloud storage models, and they're proposing some interesting solutions. Again, the project is called Cryptyk, and it calls itself a single complete solution for enterprise cloud security and storage. It's a decentralized cloud storage system with blockchain auditing. And what it wants to do is offer multiple layers of protection for user data against common threats that cloud storage platforms face. So this includes hacking, this includes malware, internal threats within an organization. And the first component of Cryptyk is called Vault. Vault stores files within a distributed architecture. It has many things in common with other cloud storage platforms like Google Drive, Dropbox, but it's different in that the files that users are interacting with are never stored in one place as a complete file. The files on the platform are fully encrypted, and they're split up into 5 separate parts by way of Cryptyk's intelligent randomization technology. The 5 pieces of the file themselves are then separately encrypted again, adding another layer of protection, and then they're stored on 5 different nodes on the platform. Each storage node will be one of the 5 major cloud storage providers: Google Drive, Dropbox, IBM, Amazon Web Services, and Box. So each node will hold a fifth of the entire double encrypted, twice encrypted file. But Cryptyk users will have the option of storing their files on their own servers, acting as one or more of those nodes in order to enable security auditing if that's important to them. Then that gets us to Vault's counterpart, which is Sentry. The Sentry platform serves as a sort of security suite that facilitates user access and activity to files and data stored on Vault. Sentry uses blockchain technology to manage file permissions and sharing, and to maintain a permanent ledger of any instance of someone accessing a file or doing something to a file. Sentry was built to be blockchain agnostic, meaning that it can update if better distributed solutions emerge, no big deal. And Sentry is also a portal that Cryptyk users use to work on files in real time on the cloud. So it's also a collaborative working platform. Sentry's application programming interface will allow other popular enterprise software to be used with the files on the Cryptyk cloud as well. And Cryptyk's aim here is to make sure that the files on Vault never have to exist on vulnerable hardware. That's really the bottom line point. So let's talk about how the two platforms will work together to protect user data against threats. Cryptyk sees itself as the first ever single vendor solution to address all of the major types of threats to cloud storage systems. So number one is hacking, which I mentioned earlier. Any system is going to be hacked at one point or another. But what Cryptyk wants to do on their cloud is to make stolen data completely unusable to the perpetrator. Since the files will be distributed across multiple nodes, if a hacker successfully compromises one of those nodes, all they get is 1/5 of a double encrypted file, not particularly useful to them. If a hacker even gets access to all 5 nodes on which your files are stored at the exact same time, which is extraordinarily unlikely, they would still only come away with double encrypted data, and they also won't know how to put those 5 pieces of the file together because only the file's owner holds the keys that can actually put together those 5 pieces of each file. The Cryptyk system is meant to be immune to viral attacks like ransomware and malware. Because all of the files are split into 5 pieces and they're double encrypted, viral attacks simply aren't likely to succeed because they'd be unable to hijack an entire file, which you would need. And this would make it impossible for an entire organization's data to be compromised, Cryptyk actually had internal teams of hackers try to do this during beta testing. They were not successful. Cryptyk also guards against DDoS and server failure. They use a security process called erasure coding, and that means that backed up versions of each fifth of file of data are created and distributed across the 4 other storage nodes. So this would mean that even if 2 nodes are disrupted at the same time, Cryptyk users wouldn't experience downtime or even lag because the files would be assembled from the backups on the other nodes which are working. Let's talk about Sentry a little bit. Sentry is Cryptyk's platform that facilitates user access and activity. That's also safeguarded against threats. Network administrators can use Sentry to implement fingerprinting, other common network security practices across all of the devices on Sentry. And Cryptyk is also planning to let users use the Sentry system to channel emails, which is another secure layer for daily enterprise cloud use for many companies. And Sentry is also built to protect against internal threats against the cloud. Could be, I don't know, disloyal employee, disgruntled contractor with access to the system. Internal threats can be some of the toughest to deal with, and Sentry's blockchain keeps this immutable ledger of all permissions and activity in the system. So Sentry can use AI to constantly monitor and audit what's taking place. Cryptyk's team is interesting. It was founded by PhD quantum physicist and entrepreneur Adam Weigold after he had one of his own personal Bitcoin wallets hacked. And he says that made him realize the problems with conventional cloud systems and the reality that they're nowhere near secure enough for use by enterprises, particularly for sensitive data and files. So he started to research how to create this distributed architecture with the security that comes with decentralization. But it still has to be fast and it still has to be practical, which is really the trick. So he joined up with Silicon Valley venture capitalist Indra Singhal, who's now Cryptyk's director, to create the original version or concept for Cryptyk. They brought on board white hat hacker security specialist Raghu Kotha, who became the CTO for Cryptyk. And then during the development of the beta, they brought on other well-known security experts. Dennis McMasters, he's an architect who helped to digitize the New York Stock Exchange. Daniel Floriani, computer scientist specializing in data sovereignty, formerly with Cisco Systems. So it's a pretty good-looking team, and we are going to be interviewing a team member as well very, very soon. So my final thoughts, we all know that across the world of computing, storage is moving more and more towards the cloud, as opposed to local storage on our own hard drives for many reasons. Accessibility from multiple locations, protection from losing data if a particular local device fails. We have dealt with that before at the David Pakman Show. The ability to collaborate with other people on the same file. So it's a very long list, but obviously the risk that comes with that is security, especially when it comes to hacking. And that's where Cryptyk wants to come in. Important problems that they're trying to solve. Cryptyk does not seem like one of those ICOs that's just a website or a piece of software that's using blockchain for no reason other than to have an ICO and a project on the blockchain. There are specific, actual, legitimate uses of the blockchain for the Sentry portion of the Cryptyk system, and it's really integral to how that system operates. You can't use blockchain for everything. And there are many ICOs that try to use blockchain in ways that seem sort of bogus, quite frankly. But using blockchain to track and publish how users of a cloud database are accessing and using files, auditing what's going on, that actually makes perfect sense. And decentralized data storage, like what Cryptyk is proposing, has inherent security advantages over centralized storage, which can serve as a safeguard against attacks because more than one node has to be susceptible to attack simultaneously, which will slow down bad actors. So it's a fascinating project. It deals with real-world problems. It makes sense for it to be on the blockchain. It's plausible. It's innovative. So it'll be interesting to follow it down the road. Check out more about Cryptyk, the platform, the ICO, the team, using the link underneath this video. And of course, as with every project I talk about, I'm talking about the project as a project. I'm not giving investment advice. Everybody, if they're considering investing in anything, doesn't matter what it is, should do their own due diligence and make the decisions that are right for you, which may be different from the decisions that are right for anybody else.